welcome to another episode of the Reset Button. I sincerely hope we're talking to MagFest right now, because it's that time of the year again. MagFest, you out there? The MagFest hype.
They all too busy have fun. How dare you have fun? You're supposed to be at home being miserable. Listen to a podcast.
They're all just having fun, not talking to us, doing things that we can't do. We're not going to yell at you. Not this time. Nope, we're going to stay right here and ring in the new year because the last one sucked. No, seriously, it sucked. It was just... God bless. I'm surprised we got through that one alive.
There was a good that happened last year. We got the Switch 2.
I mean, that is... Well, okay. Is it worth the Switch 2 if you have to dance through a landmine to get to it?
What? Do you have like a bunch of stuff in front of your Switch 2 that you can't get to it?
No, I mean, is it worth getting and enjoying that Switch 2 moment if you have to dance through landmines to get to it? There's just
I
John Cena
a lot more than I used to. True. Yeah, we did get the John Cena heel turn, and then we had the John Cena heel run, which was like, it's not the same without The Rock being there. Like, The Rock was the one that initiated, then he just disappeared. We didn't need Travis Scott there either. That was just a whole shit show. But
I digress. 2026. I think it's going to be our year. At least I hope. It definitely has to get better. Not off to a great start. If you want to talk about like getting tech and owning tech and being prepared to invest in tech, that's really bad. You thought it was bad last year. Holy fuck. But you know what? That's not what we're going to complain about. We're not going to do that. First off, no. Shout out to, you may notice Liz isn't here. It's me and Johnny, just the dynamic duo here. The dudes with attitudes, if you will, if you want to go wrestling.
The two-man power trip.
If you want to continue going wrestling, it's just the two of us here. That's because for anybody who's checking this out right now, or if you're checking it out later on at MagFest after you've calmed down the reset powers. Jesus Christ, Chad. If you're checking this out later on, Liz, I think she's either doing her panel right now or she just wrapped it up recently.
Yeah. And
it shouted us out. So
she did. I think it was like a big thesis on Clue Land. If I'm not mistaken. Let me check my notifications here because I got tagged on that because dear friend to you and me and everyone, Tom the Iron Man, was at attendance and tagged us on there. I don't have it in my notifications. Oh, maybe it's on Blue Sky. Hey, I actually get to use my Blue Sky for once.
What's up, the sky? The blue sky. No, I saw that. We got tagged, and we were on the screen. Our fun little graphic, the three of us there. I hope it's a lot of fun.
There's a QR code on there. I'm gonna scan it. I'm gonna scan it and see what that takes us. Does it take it to a podcast? Oh, to a link tree. It takes you to Liz's link tree.
Oh.
To her tweet website because of the things I sell.
So clearly one of her links would be us.
How dare she promote herself at her own panel? Liz, love you. But she is promoting us on the Reset Button. It should not be hard to. We should not be hard to find.
No, I would hope not. But Liz is a slice of awesome all around, so appreciate that. And we still have a really super awesome podcast that's coming up. We're not doing it this week because we ain't doing that shit without Liz. It's that simple. Instead of the Resetties, we're going to be doing like basically like a Hall of Fame type thing. It's what we mentioned before. Each of us is going to bring somebody that we think deserves to be in like a Hall of Fame for gaming, and it should be really interesting to hear what we talk about, who we bring up, everything. Because I already have my person in mind, and just to chew on it a little bit before we get there, mine is not from Japan. I think most people knowing me, like my Nintendo obsession, would think, oh, this guy's going to be from Japan. It's going to be a Nintendo guy. Not a Nintendo guy.
Nice. As I would have assumed, Miyamoto, Iwata,
nope.
Koji Kondo,
nope. Definitely not going to be a Nintendo guy. So If that gets you intrigued, I'm hoping that's going to be the next episode, which is going to be episode 46. It's still crazy how many years ago we started this whole thing, and we're still chugging along, still getting this taken care of. It is, stop it, chat. Bad chat. It's not going to be Kevin Butler. It would be fun if it was. No, but we wanted to talk about really quick about little treasure troves out there, some of which are less glittery than others, but basically the packages that you get out there, the games that come packed together. It could be like a retro remembrance. It could be something like the Mass Effect collection that released, little things like that. And which ones have been, a good bang for your buck, and which ones have been an absolute waking fucking nightmare, is basically what I think we've agreed that we want to talk about here.
Yeah.
So I think probably the most recent one that's come out that would be crossing everybody's mind, and I hate to beat the dead horse. Truly I do, because that poor horse. But it's the most recent one, is the Mortal Kombat Arcade Collection.
Yeah, the Legacy Collection.
Yeah. Now, Arcade Collection was a different one. Excuse me. That one was also bad. It really was. It was also just god-awful.
See, I never saw it for the time. I thought it was fine. If we're talking about the same MK collection, I'm thinking of
the one that came out on Xbox,
2, and all. Yeah, I didn't mind that. Now, granted, the online sucked, but it was really hard back then. Before the canons came up with rollback netcode, it was really hard to do fighting games online.
Yeah,
but like once we got GGPO with Third Strike Online Edition, it started to get better. And the thing is, from what I remember, everyone thought it was okay, minus the online lag. Like the collections felt sound.
Offline,
but now,
it was okay.
like I guess in hindsight, now I guess people are coming back and say, "No, it's a pile of ass. It's better to emulate it." I'm like, okay, fuck my opinions from 15 years ago, I guess.
The only time,
but
like
again,
offline,
I haven't booted up that collection in a very long time. So,
well,
I have. That'll be coming to our channel soon.
I have booted it up recently. The only time offline it's really bad is when you're trying to play Ultimate MK3, because there is that input delay. You can't really like work input delay all that well when you're trying to do the dial combos. So that sucks a lot. And the online's bad. But if you just want to play like offline MK1, MK2, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's MK3 where everything just comes completely the fuck apart. Now, Legacy Collection is a completely different animal because I've been playing it. I don't think that it's got that much of a lag problem anymore. I think that's pretty smoothed out. Problem now is
finding people to play.
It's abandonware is what it is. It's like, here's this game that, we have the online implementation. Everybody wanted to have online, especially the WaveNet edition. And who gives a fuck? Nobody's playing it. It's completely dead in the water. I let the thing, like the other day, trying to get Ultimate MK3, trying to get a match on there, which, by the way, is the most competitive version of Mortal Kombat that's ever been released. Like, hands down. If we're talking about the old school, we're not talking about, like, MK94. That's a completely different argument. Mm-hmm. But Ultimate MK3, the most competitive from back in the day, I let mine run for 5 minutes straight. Couldn't get a single match online and said, okay, give up. I give up. I give completely the fuck up. And that's my story. I have the game. I have the special version that came with all the bells and whistles, and everything looked really, really nice. Have I played one online match? No. Not one.
Then again, I think it's because of your install base. I think because you're on the Switch too. I don't know what sales number were on the Switch too. I think primarily people picked it up on PC, and I want to say Xbox was the next highly doubted one, because from all accounts and what people were saying before all the patches came out, the Xbox version was like the most stable version out there.
I think it's possible. At the same time, I think you can look at like the Steam, not records, but what am I trying to say? The Steam trends. of people playing it, and I think the trends are incredibly low. It kind of came out and just it really hit a wall. Man, did it hit a fucking wall. That's unfortunate because this was the time for classic Mortal Kombat to shine. And look, if you're just wanting it to have the collection to play offline, and you're wanting that slice of history where you can watch the documentaries, have all the beautiful artwork that they put out to promote the games that were when they were coming out, all of that package is amazing. Now that I have it in hand, I would never complain about that because that is a love letter to Mortal Kombat fans. But just one asterisk there, we also like to play the games. That's a major issue.
Mm-hmm. So I got the quick question I have for you. So I know they have like the digital clips. Like, well, they want to do those documentaries. They do a fantastic job. They did that. They did the Atari collection on that 50th anniversary one, which I haven't booted up too long, and I think they just put out the Namco DLC that gives you like the 5200 version of Pac-Man and the 2600 version of Pac-Man, and a few other games on there like Galaxian
that's
and
very
stuff like
recent.
That. Yeah. On the MK collection, do they have a full-on their own? Because I know like they had like NetherRealm had a hype video that they would send out to arcades to get people to buy MK3. It's on the Midway Arcade Treasures 2 on PS2, Xbox, and GameCube, but it's all segmented into like 3 to 4 minute clips.
Right.
So you have to like watch them you have to watch them and like stop and pause. Do they have that on there cleaned up, or is it mostly just that brand new documentary?
You know what? I'm gonna have to go back and check because I was looking at like some of the little clips from like the original MK1 just to verify some of the stories I always heard, because people, their memories get a little fuzzy and they tell some tall tales, so it's kind of fun to go back and see like it's exactly as they said. Like one of the famous stories that was always told is Ed Boon came up with the Scorpion Spear like on the spot, in mid recording of the characters. That he was just like, oh, it'd be really cool is if he had like this rope with like a knife or something attached on the end. He could just throw it and hit the other guy. And that seems like kind of wild that nobody thought of that until like right then and there. But if you go on there, that footage is there. It's true. Just cool little shit like that as a fan you could really appreciate. I haven't had a chance to check all of it out, but that's just fun stuff to have.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, I feel like if Digital Eclipse had waited just a few more months to release this so that they could get the lobby system in, they could get the netcode working perfectly, and maybe figure out a way to get MK4 on the physical Switch 2 cartridge, because I think that was like a big contention, is that you bought this thing physically and oh my god, there's a game missing and you have to go online. But here's my thing, and I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but like, y'all have had enough time to get good internet. Like Don Matrick, when he did the Xbox One and he said like the spelling out what the future was going to be for gaming, y'all had enough time to get ready. You guys have no more excuses.
Well,
like,
that's...
I'm sorry if everything's not on the cartridge, but like if they need patches, you need to be online. And if you can't get online in the year of our Lord 2026 now, they don't give a shit anymore. Like, frankly, I don't give a shit anymore. Like, I've had internet, like, it's never been a problem for me because I've had decent internet wherever I've been.
Oh, it's not even that big of a download. It's just mainly...
Exactly.
The issue that I personally had with it was just I didn't want it taking up any space on either my SD card or my Switch 2, which it now has to because it's not on the card. And they advertised it that way. It's like, don't false advertise, man. If you can't do it, just come out and say, look, we can't fucking do it. Just live with it or move on. It's up to you. Then I could make that decision and be like, well, I mean, I can download it. It's fine. I'll make room for it on my Switch. No big deal. But they just fucking weaseled it in at the end. That's the part that annoyed me.
Well, I will say, like, besides like the netcode issues and like all that, eventually got fixed. if that came out, like I think people wouldn't have degraded as much as it did, or there might be a little bit more of an online base. But then again, as you know, top FGC players, they get these collections right away. They try them out online, and then they play them hardcore. But are these going to be tournament replacement stuff? Absolutely not. They will go straight back to MAME and Redream and emulation or whatever emulators they use. You play these games regularly, whether it be on Fightcade or just wait until Evo comes up with like a method to play the games for real with more modern hardware. I remember, if you remember a couple of years ago when Third Strike was like the retro game for the tournament, they had actually were running them on real boards, but they set up like CRT display and USB connection hybrid. It's like they just put the boards in this box, a shell with a CRT, and had USB ports so that players could just plug their controller straight in. Boom, they're ready to go. I'm like, that's crazy.
I think that's the ideal thing to do, though.
I don't think I've ever seen that. I mean, they'll probably have to do that this year for Vampire Survivor because that's going to be the retro game for 2026. Like, I don't think unless they're going to use the Fighting Collection 1. Yeah, all the Darkstalkers games are on the first collection there.
That'd be cool. I'd be down with that. The Capcom Fighting Collections, both 1 and 2, my God, they have been amazing.
And MVC.
Yeah. Those have just been like absolutely what everybody wanted and what absolutely everybody needed. They have been perfect, amazing, 10 out of 10. I don't have any complaints.
Yeah.
I lack complaints. I mean, you want to give me like MVC2 that I can play online again with everybody. You want to fucking give me Power Stone 1 and 2? Just give me all of this really good Capcom stuff so I can play like serious stuff online. I can dick around online with MVC2, or I can just completely throw everything out the window, be silly as hell, and play Power Stone. Those have been solid collections. Compared to Mortal Kombat, I've always been the MK guy versus Capcom, but Capcom wins this so fucking hard.
Yeah, the only thing I will like say that Digital Clips has over who did? Was it Digital Clips that did the? I know Digital Clips did the 30th anniversary. I'm just trying to remember who did the Capcom fighting ones. Was that internally just Capcom?
I think it was. It definitely was not Digital Eclipse. Because Digital Eclipse famously fucked up the 30th, too. There was delay in that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just developed by Capcom internally. Okay, so there's no other developer on that. Yeah, I mean, because the 30th anniversary, like, I bought that day one, and I refunded it day one, because 4-player lobby versus 8-player lobby for Third Strike Online on 360, I was like, this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
And when I refunded it, the Xbox person was like, oh, maybe you'd like to try a different game. Maybe fighting games aren't for you. I said, fighting games are for me. I just don't like how Capcom did this. Like, if they would fix this and put a bigger lobby system in, hell yeah, I would do it. But like,
maybe this shitty version, the shitty collection, isn't for you. And that means you just hate fighting games. I mean, it's got all the games. Sure, they run like ass, but the games are here. What's the problem? What the fuck? Wow. It's just like I'm gonna go play on I'm gonna play Pac-Man on Atari and have just the shittiest time ever, and because of that, people are just gonna be like, "Oh, you hate Pac-Man? You hate arcade games? Wow." No, I hate Atari 2600 Pac-Man, just like every other normal person on the planet. That's crazy.
Back to what I was saying, that Digital Clips, for presentation wise and like extra stuff, I feel far supersede what like internally Capcom does, because Capcom, like, most of their stuff, like their extra stuff is just like, you got a music player, cool. You get the art, cool. These are things I could easily look up online. But like when they like Digital Eclipse like takes the time to like produce in-house their own documentaries about said subjects. Like I would love for them for like how close are we to the 40th anniversary of Street Fighter? Is it this year?
Oh, Street Fighter 1?
Or 35th anniversary, I should say. Or is it 30th? I don't know. When was the 30th?
The original Street Fighter was released in the 80s, so we would be slowly inching toward 40. Because, and correct me if I'm misremembering history here, people, but I remember hearing that Street Fighter came out and it had a system where instead of like controls with buttons and everything, it had these pads that you were supposed to punch. And that was like the original iteration of Street Fighter. Now,
sorry, I just it's next year.
It's next year? Okay.
Or is it next year? Yeah. This year I think is Mega Man?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, because they're coming out with dual overdrive for that. But
yeah, if that sounds like the shittiest time ever at the arcade, I'd have to agree with you. Who wants to go and like just fucking pound on things at the arcade and just mess your knuckles up to play an arcade game all day?
If it's Solar or oh god, not Solar Joe. What was the name of that? Sonic Blast Man. Do you ever play that?
No.
Oh my god, it is the great. So it essentially is. It is a punching mat. So like, there's a screen coming up. Like you're supposed to be like first person. You are like Sonic Blast Man. So there's things like, oh, a truck's gonna come and run over a baby. You gotta punch the truck to stop it. So this thing pops up. So like you would see people in the arcades all the time just rear back and just punch this thing as hard as you can. You get 3 tries. So like there was like you punch a truck, you punch a robber. I'm trying to remember the other ones there. That's what I hated about those Super Nintendo ones, because it just turned them into generic beat 'em up. Obviously, you can't replicate that at home by punching things, but still, that was such a cool arcade.
That's so wild. I can
Break
just
the hell out of
imagine
your hand, but
that's what I'm saying. You don't want to play that way all day. That'd be awful. But I can just see it now. Like you have to save the baby, and somebody's just screaming through the hallway, "Must save baby!" Pow! Holy shit! That would be wild. That would be Magfest.
Wordman in our Twitch chat has it. You're trying to qualify for the World Martial Arts Tournament. Yeah, it's the punching gauge.
There you go.
It registers your punches.
No, I think at this point the best way, and I mean the most reasonable way to play a fighting game at this point is you got to break out the DK bongos, right? I mean that seems reasonable.
I don't think I've seen anyone at Evo play with DK bongles.
Just bongo away and play fighting games. Yeah. Oh my god!
I've seen people with Guitar Hero controllers, the RE4 chainsaw controller. What else? I'm trying to think. Like maybe custom sticks made of cardboard.
Oh my god, that reminds me.
Now I'm getting flashbacks to the old Screw Attack live streams where Chad would make custom control sticks for people to play games on. So it's just like, hey, play Mega Man X, but I got this board and it's a hitbox, but I swapped all the buttons around, so you gotta try and figure out what's what.
He's so good at making fight sticks and stuff like that. I think he ended up making a custom one for Esan, who used to be one of the mods over at Screw Attack. Chad's really fucking good.
Word in the chat with the Final Fantasy X-2 gun controllers.
See, I've never even seen those.
It was the collector's edition for X-2 because Yuna in that goes from summoner to gunner. That's her first job class in that game. So there's 2 controllers that look like her pistols, and it's just, I think like the buttons are on the side, the analog sticks are where the trigger. It's one of the most uncomfortable controllers I've ever seen. Oh, no.
It sounds bad.
We've done an episode where like we did weird peripherals and controllers, right?
I think so, because
we might have to do another one, because now I'm thinking of the Onimusha katana sword.
Yeah, because I think we started talking about the Nintendo 64 Power Glove, and everybody threw up that
Yeah,
day. It was awful.
yeah. Because they're like, this is the thing. I'm like, yes, it's the thing.
This is a thing, and it's a thing that should not be. But
Yeah.
somebody bought the fucking thing, idiot. I would never pay money for that. One thing I would pay money for, now that I'm thinking about it here, and Wordman mentioned it recently in chat just a couple minutes ago, a collection that just fucking hit, and I got to give it to Microsoft for it, was the Rare Replay.
Yes.
You want to talk about a good collection? That thing was just phenomenal.
Yeah. From all the stuff when they were not known as Rare, when they were known as Ultimate Play the Game. So you got like a bunch of like those British ZX Spectrum games to the NES. I'm kind of sad they couldn't do portable. Like they couldn't get Game Boy ones on there. Because
Right.
like you could have had the Game Boy version of Battletoads. You could have had the Game Boy version of KI, which that's like right now like the only version of KI you cannot play on console. Like it's never been re-released. Because like think of it, we've got KI and KI Gold on the NSO systems. We've got KI, KI2, and KI 2013 on Xbox and PC. And there's just no Game Boy version of KI anywhere. Like, I know it sucks. Like, it's like the weak punches are tapping the button and holding the button gives you your heavy kicks. But like, still, like, I'll defend that because that was my childhood game. You don't get that on there.
Could have had the Banjo-Kazooie GBA game. Huh?
Yeah, that's some weird legality word. Like where the like Banjo-Kazooie still existed on the Game Boy because, you know, that's when Microsoft had Rare, and they're like, well, you can't make any console games, but we don't consider the Game Boy Advance a console, so you can keep making games for that. That's when we got Banjo Pilot, Banjo-Kazooie, Grunty's Revenge, and then we got the DS version of Diddy Kong Racing, where it was like, okay, you can have Diddy Kong, but like obviously you can't put Banjo or Conker in that, so get them out of there.
Yeah. It was back when they were like, well, we're not competing in that space, so we don't really give a flying shit.
Yeah. And nowadays they're like, oh, well, we think we're not going to make consoles anymore. In fact, we're not going to make consoles anymore. So yeah, you can use our properties, which I'm still waiting for Conker to go on NSO and Diddy Kong Racing to go on NSO. Those are probably like the only two games, the real good Rare games that are left to go on NSO.
I really think they're going to do it, but I don't know. Have we discussed this before? Are they going to censor the shit out of Conker?
I don't think so. Like, well, they would have to put that on the because there's two different 64 NSO apps. There's the regular one, and then there's the rated M for mature one.
Right.
The rated M for mature one has Perfect Dark on there, Shadow Man, and Turok 1 and 2. Maybe another one. I can't think of it right now. But yeah, if they did, they would just throw it onto that.
Yeah, Live and Reloaded did go back and censor a few things, but that's what I'm wondering. Are they going to do like the Live and Reloaded version to try and keep everything calm? Because that's probably the one Nintendo would like versus the original raw one. Or are they just going to be like, okay, we know what you want, here it is? I'm curious.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think. The funny thing too with the Rare Replay collection is that if it was Xbox and under, it ran directly off of the disc. But anything that was already on the 360, that was there via backwards compatibility. So like you'd have the Rare Replay launcher, and then you would be thrown into the game that you wanted. So like I think it's like what Perfect Dark 0, Perfect Dark, Banjo-Kazooie 1 and 2, Nuts and Bolts. I want to say Grab by the Ghoulies, but I think Grab by the Ghoulies was just like it was OG Xbox, so they just kind of threw it on there. I don't think Live and Reloaded was on Rare Replay. I think
no,
it really
it wasn't.
should.
No, I think it was just. I think it was just Conker that was on there, but it was still like a censored version. Like there were tidbits that they still didn't get through.
Conker's Bad Fur Day on Rare Replay is the OG one that was on 64. So it was censored up to a point. Like they don't bleep out shit that much. They don't bleep out Great Mighty Pooh singing. That's
No,
the one thing. But like,
no,
there's a few bleeps here. But whatever.
right.
Like, it's fine. Like, sometimes censorship can be funny.
I don't exactly. I don't mind. That never bothers me because it can be funnier that way. I just wonder, like, if they do end up putting it on Switch, are they going to just butcher it to the point where it's funny with a little bit versus just overtly, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
But no,
that
that's
could
a
be a
phenomenal
problem.
connection. That was a phenomenal collection. Oh, it was a blast to like go play Blastcore again when that came out. And also too, like trying to do like the Chivos on there for the certain
Mhm.
stuff there. That was great too. On top of the other Chivos you get on that. Yeah, great
Absolutely.
collection there.
Great collection. Um, I would say, I'm curious to see if you would disagree or have one that you think is a little better. But I'm gonna go out on the limb and say, for me, the greatest collection ever, bar none, there is no higher, is Super Mario All Stars. It's because Mario. I love it. Back in the day, you had all of those upgraded versions. If you got rid of your NES, because this was not a time for people who are younger. Let's wind back a little bit because you didn't typically, like, when you upgrade to Super Nintendo, you usually didn't just keep your Nintendo around. Like, mom and dad would be like, well, we got to let your Nintendo go, so we're going to bring your Super Nintendo in. They hated, like, all the cables and all the things everywhere.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't plug that in. You don't know what you're doing. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I know I'm doing more than you know what you're doing.
So trying to convince mom and dad and everybody, like, oh, I need the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo out here. No. No, that's not
Yeah.
going to happen. So Super Mario All Stars gave the opportunity to fix that problem, and you got a better looking and feeling Mario 1, 2, and 3. And then Lost Levels, Lost Levels is Lost Levels.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
think overall it was just amazing.
um, yeah, like I would say the, but then again, now that here's the thing. Now that I know of the fact that like the hit detection on breaking bricks in Mario 1 is not the same as the OG. Like it because like people had to hack and fix that later on with ROM hacks. I'm like, was it always like that? And I went back and played both of them. I'm like, oh my god, it does feel different. Like when you try to break a block, like it almost like stops your momentum dead. But in like there's like a little bit of a jump within like it's weird. Like if you ever get time, play Mario Brothers 1 on NES, then go back and play the All Stars version. You'll see what I mean when you try to break bricks as Big Mario.
I can even go farther. I can go farther and crazier with it. I can go back and play Mario on NES and Famicom, and then I can compare that to Super Mario All Stars on Super Nintendo and Super Famicom to see if there's any major difference with that. Probably not, but who knows? No, wait. There are differences, aren't there? Like Super Mario 3. When you got hit in the Japanese version, you immediately shrunk versus just
Oh,
losing your
oh, oh,
power. So there
oh,
are
yeah.
differences.
I can tell you the differences between Famicom Mario 3 and NES Mario. Like, oh, it's so much. Actually, if I could plug my YouTube, I did a whole video about that. Well, not that specifically, but I did a video on
Plug
my YouTube
away.
where I did 5 Famicom games that were different from their US releases. So, and the reason I did that is because if you remember on Game Days for Good, I beat every single NES Ninja Gaiden game.
Oh God.
But for Ninja Gaiden 3, I did the Famicom version first. And I actually breezed through it pretty quickly. And I was like, something feels off. And then I boot up the NES North American version because I know like the reason I did the Famicom one because I know the North American version they made it tougher by giving you limited continues, like you only had 5 continues.
Right.
So I was like, well, no, I'm not going to do that. Let me do the Japanese version. I don't think it'll change that much. Oh yeah, they changed a lot. Like, enemy hits hit differently. Like you take less damage in the Famicom version, and there are less enemies on screen. Like I think there's one point in Act 3 where they just throw like twice to three times as many enemies at you just to get through this jungle part than you do in the Famicom version. And there are ones that will push you back even farther. Like there is no hit stun. You're hit and they'll just continue to push you off. So I was like, okay, something's obviously going on here. What else did I play that on? I was just gonna in the background here bring this up. Just quiet me here. The one of the biggest ones is Mad City, which is Adventures of Bayou Billy. It is way easier on this Famicom as Mad City than it is on Bayou Billy. Like so much easier.
Well, that's good to hear because Bayou Billy sucks.
Yeah, play Mad City. It's a lot more fun because you can actually beat it.
Bayou Billy is the kind of game you give to somebody when you hate them. Yeah, I have it too. I have Bayou Billy too, and it fucking blows. That's the best way to put it.
So I also compared Bionic Commando to Hitler no Fukatsu because of course I love Bionic Commando, and it was showing off the differences in that, like, you know, level placements, enemy placements, how things are designed. Yeah, that was Ninja Gaiden 3. The Castlevania games, those are big differences.
Yes.
Like the Famicom versions are like every enemy has like their neutral damage output.
Yeah.
So it doesn't like escalate the further you get into the game like it does in the American version. And also too, like in the American version, you don't, like, if you die at Dracula, you don't start back at like Dracula steps. You start like a couple zones back. So you have to like fight your way through to get back there.
Yeah. Yeah, that the North American version, they intentionally fucked up because we can rent games. They can't Japan.
Yeah.
So
that's why they did it for the rental market. Yeah, they were like, "Oh, this game's too easy for Americans, so let's beef up the difficulties that they have to keep renting this game over and over and over again."
So I'm glad you transitioned into that and didn't even know you did, because another great collection is the Castlevania collection. That thing is fucking
all
great.
3 of them. The first anniversary collection is like 1 through 4 with Bloodlines.
Mm-hmm.
And I think English translation of Kid Dracula as well.
Yes.
And then they didn't even have to do this, but then they went and they updated it with the Japanese versions too. So you could flip it and play the Famicom versions of each of those games, except for except for Simon's Quest. They don't have that because that was a Famicom disc system game.
Yeah.
But so was Castlevania 1, but I think they may have converted that to cartridge later on.
They did.
Wrong on that.
It's one of the ones that later on, when the tech got better for the carts, that's when they were able to do that. I think they did the same for Zelda as well.
Yeah.
So
that was initially a disc system game. Mm-hmm. Then they put that on cartridge.
Exactly. So they were able to do that, but I mean, the Japanese version is the only way I'll play Castlevania 3. That's because it's fucking dumb if you don't. Have you ever tried to go through aside from ages ago when you were a kid, have you ever tried to do it recently to give it like the adult critique?
Castlevania 3?
Yeah.
I have. Yeah. I did that not to look like there because I have it on Xbox and there's achievement to beat all the games, but I had to I had to really power through it, and I had to do I think there's like 2 runs you have to do. You have to try to do a Simon only run, and then you can do one with a companion. But anytime I ever beat it, I always did it with Sypha, just because her magical attacks can damage. Like, she takes more damage from enemies, but her magical attacks, like if you get like the fire spell or the holy spell, they damage Dracula really, really a lot more damage than just attacking them straight on with the whip.
Yeah, I think 3. The North American version is incredibly unfair, and that's because it is. It was made to be that way. But no, I'd love to play the Japanese version. That's actually fair and a balanced game. Imagine. It's funny you choose Sypha. I always go with Grant. I really like his mechanics and what he's capable of doing. But I think everybody agrees at this point that even though like Alucard is a really cool concept, Alucard sucks.
Yeah.
He's really
Because like he has
bad.
like the 3 fireball attack. I mean, like if you want to just get through most of the game without attacking anything, like save up your hearts, turn into a bat, and fly around. That's probably the easiest way to do stuff.
Pretty
Especially there's
much.
one level where if you are not Alucard and anybody else, you have to wait for all those blocks to fall down to make the and like you're going upward. You have to wait all the blocks come down. Oh my god, like it's insane. But then we also had like the advanced collections. We had all
Hmm.
the GBA games. Plus, then they threw in Dracula X because that was not in the last collection. So that was like a little bonus. It's like here's the Super Nintendo dumbed down version of Rondo, and then like, and I freaked out when the Nintendo Direct happened for that. But like the Dominus collection with all the DS games was just like, oh my god, we're finally getting them. And then they give you like an updated version of Haunted Castle, the arcade game, and they give you the Haunted Castle again for like the update time in their collections. It's not one that they just have to just give out for free all the time. And then we're in our chat was talking about Requiem. I dislike that collection just because of the fact that it's locked to the PlayStation and nobody else can have it because that has Rondo and the PSP version of Symphony. That should be available for everyone.
I don't think I have that, but I mean, is it really that important? Like, what's the difference between the PS1 and PSP versions?
Better voice acting.
Oh, I couldn't care
Like
less about that.
Yuri Urenthal does the voice of Alucard in that, and it's a cleaned up script, so it's like less meme worthy.
But that's half the fun. Why would you take that out?
Yeah, why would I take out what is a man and
Die, monster!
You know,
You don't belong in this world.
or Maria's great line: "What do you hear? What do you hear?"
No, those are the things you want to
know
keep in. No,
Yeah.
they've got it all wrong.
And they can't take out oh god, I always forget the actor's name who does Alucard, who I just found out not too long ago. So there is a Japanese only G1 Transformer game on the PS2 that apparently is like hot garbage, but like Alucard's voice actor does like majority of the voices in there. So he's like Optimus, Megatron, Starscream. I was like,
Oh my
I need
god.
this. Well, yeah, we're making some good point. Maria is playable in that version. That's the only one verse minus the Saturn version that you can play as Maria.
I don't know. I still don't think that's enough to sell me.
Well, it regularly goes on sale. It usually goes on sale for like $5 on the PlayStation. I mean, that's worth it in my book.
Yeah.
But yeah, Castlevania collections are great. All like most, if not all, the Konami stuff is great. Like Contra collection,
Contra
you've got pretty much
really
all of them.
good.
Although we are missing Contra 4. Hey, if the Dominus collection worked, you can do it for Contra 4. You can get a DS game on there. And then, like, I think if they ever do another Konami does another Contra collection, you do Contra 4. You can put on those bad PS1 ones of the Adventure and Legacy or Legacy of War. And then there's like the PS2 games. But, you know, PS2 is still kind of hit and miss when it comes to like emulation right now. And there's not a whole lot of collections out there. Like, they're just, I think Max was saying it on his streams and podcasts. They said PS1 emulation has just been cracked good enough to be put onto collections. Like in the Mortal Kombat one, you got Special Forces and Mythology Sub-Zero and Trilogy. Those are all the PlayStation ports.
Yeah, and
so
they
I think it'll be a while
fun.
before we get PS2 on there. But then with the Castlevania, like we still don't have well, Legends. No, is it Legends? What's the one on? What's the last one that was on Game Boy? That's the one that's on NSO. That was Sonya Belmont that they retconned because she's the first Belmont, and she may or may not have slept with Alucard, and that's where the bloodline begins. So that means the Belmonts are half vampires. I can't remember. I think it might be Legends. That's the only one that's locked away, and then the two at 64 Castlevania games. I think Konami will wait until like it's either like the legality has to come off from those other 3D games like Curse of Darkness and Lament of Innocence, then you'll get one last collection out of Konami for that. But I would be remiss because we're putting into the conversation there. What about the Cowabunga collection?
I thought it
All
was
those
fun.
turtle games in one package. Yeah.
I found it was fine. I mean, I'm not going to tell you it was, oh my god, the greatest thing ever. I mean, largely because I guess I already had a bunch of those games, but it's nice to be able to like have them on the Switch and just be able to play it that way. I mean,
Yep.
some of them can be a little difficult to get your hands on. Like, did it have? Remind me. I haven't looked at it in quite a while. Did it have the NES tournament fighters on it?
Yes.
So
As all
that
three
one's
versus
gonna
tournament fighters. Yeah.
that's gonna be a hard one to get your hands on
Hmm.
at the end of the day. So I mean, it's worth having it if you want to be able to play that, unless you're willing to shell out some big bucks. Because that's the only way you're gonna do it. But I think like if you're itching to play Hyperstone Heist that bad, uh, why? It's clearly the inferior version. It doesn't feel good. Well, okay,
Still
I'll
better
put
than
it this
most.
way. It's fine when you're getting through it, but the closer you get to the end, the more bullshit it becomes. It just turns into a pile of ass on you out of nowhere. And that's the part that sucks. Versus playing Turtles in Time, and I could say it is its own original thing, even though it started as an arcade game, because it has a different structure of stages. It has some stages that the arcade game doesn't have.
Hmm.
And it plays quite differently. So I think it's fair to
I
say you have two completely different home console games, and one is clearly better than the other.
yeah. I'll always have this unpopular opinion, but I find that the SNES Turtles in Time surpasses the arcade and the Genesis version. It just
Agreed.
feels. I know people will go like, "Oh, but you lose frames of animation." It's like I don't.
I
It
don't
just
care.
it plays better. It just feels better. It you can almost feel impact when you're fighting enemies. Like
Look, it
fighting them
plays
on the
better.
arcade version doesn't
Mm,
feel like I mean like it's a good time to play with 4 players, goofing around, and it beat them up and unlimited, you just keep putting in quarters, you just beat in that in 20 minutes or so. But just like the Super Nintendo version just feels better.
it feels
With
better,
more
and
impact.
it also feels like it's more of a love letter to Ninja Turtles fans too, because like the part where you're doing sewer surfing, you get done with that, and all of a sudden Shredder's like, "Fuck you, you're going in time." That doesn't make sense. It makes more sense in the home console game where you beat his ass in the Technodrome, and he's like, "Here's my last
Yeah.
hurrah." Throws them in time. Makes way more sense. And then
Yeah.
the dinosaur stage, you fight some goop monster. Again, what the fuck is that about? Or
Yeah.
you can fight Slash. Are you serious?
Yeah.
I,
And I
I
appreciate all the extra stuff they throw in there. I do find it funny that you can go back to Turtles 2 and just like see like, oh yeah, there's supposed to be a Pizza Hut ad there.
yes. Yeah, they stripped all that out. I remember when that came out, and that was a big thing. Buy the game and you get your personal pan pizza. I think. No, I think my parents got me a used copy. I didn't get my pizza.
Yeah, same here. I don't think I ever got a new copy. There's very new copies of games I ever got. I think the only ones I can think of are like Mario 3, Bugs Bunny's Birthday Blowout.
What? Oh man.
I'm trying to think here. I don't subscribe to that whole like, oh man, AVGN reviewed it, so it must be bad. Yeah, but then you realize that him and Mike Matei reviewed it just so that they could do skits as Bugs Bunny and the Nerd. It's
Nah,
not. It's not really a bad game.
No, it's
just
not all that. It's like I could think of so many NES games I'd love to have brand new, and Bugs Bunny Birthday Blowout, man, that ain't on the list. I wouldn't
And
mind having it used.
that was one that the family and I played a lot there. So we rented it a bunch. So mom was like, "Oh, get it for them." I'm glad they did.
Oh, well,
I'm
okay.
trying to.
Okay, I feel you. So you guys were able to play it together and test it out and
Yeah,
got the vibe. That makes way more sense.
I'm trying to see on my list here as I don't have. I have them mostly on my. Here's the thing, like I got all these collections on my Xbox, but then with Xbox being kind of like swamp water, as my nephew would
It
say.
has been.
I'm like slowly once they're on sale, rebuying them on the Switch. the Switch has pretty much become my collection console now.
Same.
So I got all the Mega Mans on there now. Except for I don't have the Zero and ZX collection yet. I'm waiting on that. And the Battle Network. I haven't played those, so I don't have any nostalgia for them. But I mean, if they go down to decent sales, I might.
So I do have the Zero collection. I don't have ZX. I got the Battle Network 1 and 2 because I remember. I'm going to admit to something here, guys. I pirated Rockman.exe, aka Mega Man Battle Network 1. I'm so sorry. I was poor.
Oh, no.
I tried it and I thought it was pretty decent, and I never really played the series again. And then I heard, oh man, there's a collection coming. Better hurry up and grab those, and never play them. I just bought them.
Yeah.
I'm fucking sad.
Yeah. Because I think for the Switch, like I rebought because they were on like a ridiculous sale. I think it might have been, I can't remember when, but I rebought the Mega Man. Like I basically have like the Mega Man Legacy collection on everything now. I like Mega Man. What?
I love Mega Man. I've got a Mega Man car freshener.
Yeah, but I'll say like playing the old school Mega Mans on the online.
Oh no, I'm not doing it like that. Fuck.
No,
I don't have those.
Wow. Am I a bigger Nintendo fan than you? I actually have NSO controllers that you don't have. You don't have NSO controllers?
I don't have any NSO
I know
controllers.
Robe has all the controllers.
God bless.
Yeah.
That's awful. I'm lower than Robe right now. I don't know how to feel. Is that the end of this like entire series at this point? Do I just retire?
Yeah, just give it up. You're done.
I'm toast.
Yeah, but
Something's toast. Holy shit.
Yeah. I like those collections. I just don't I kind of don't like the fact that Capcom split them up into two. So like Legacy Collection 1 was just the NES stuff, and then Legacy Collection was 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then like they did the same thing with the X collection. Like, oh, let's just split it up into two titles. That's what I don't really like, but what can you do? Capcom kind of Capcom.
I love them. I think they're some of the best collections that money can buy, be it the Mega Man collection or X. Both of them amazing, but I don't like the way it was handled either. Especially with like, why couldn't all of the original Mega Man games be on the one collection and then all the X ones be on the other? No, they had to fuck around.
I do also have on the Switch there the collection of Saga, which is the Final Fantasy Legend games on the Game Boy. That's because like 2 and 3 are my childhood, and it was great to have those like on the go. And I love the fact that for modern conveniences, it's just like, hey, we're just going to speed the game up so you can walk faster and get through battles faster because you know your time is precious.
As an adult, cool. Yeah, that is a thing. That you just don't have that kind of time anymore to just sit around and deal with that. So anything that respects my time, I greatly appreciate. Oh, well, for the people who are live or if you're listening to this later, we've got a raid from Mr. Robe here. So appreciate that. Apparently you have NSO controllers that I don't have, and now I'm considering burning the hat I wear while I'm wearing it.
You're a Nintendo fan and you are.
Disgusting.
I mean, technically, I have two because the Switch recognizes the 8-bit DOE 64 controller as a NSO 64 controller. So
that thing looks like a nightmare.
It's not. It's actually really comfortable. Like,
okay, I'll have to take your word for it because that thing looks really fucky.
Like the C buttons are like everything's placed exactly where it should be as a 64 controller. Like, trust me, this thing's wicked.
Okay.
I have this now paired up to I finally figured out how to pair this up to the PC. So now like I have to do some dangling on the RetroArch when I go between this and my Xbox SNES controller. But like playing No Mercy on this thing's a dream now. I don't have to use the sticks now to run and pick people up.
Now, granted, I do have a dongle from 8-bit though, like a wireless dongle I can use for the Switch that allows me to connect the GameCube controllers, or if you have the NES or SNES Mini um, ones, you can connect that to it, and it'll work that way. So I'm kind of cheating and kind of making it work. But no, I do not have specifically the NSO ones, so shut up, Robe.
You know what's funny? Like before we went live, because it always happens every time like I want to do something or stream, Nintendo's like, hey, we're gonna shadow drop something on the NSO. Right before we went live, they shadow dropped Fire Emblem on GameCube. I booted that up real quick, and the first thing that popped up before it said, oh, here's we got something new for you to play. There's a big old ad that says, just as a reminder, scan this QR code if you want to buy a GameCube controller for your Switch 2. And I'm like, I'm good. I've got enough controllers right now.
I mean, do I want to? Yeah, I guess, but at the same time, like I said, I've got that dongle, so get fucked. I don't need to. I do kind of want the Sega one. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Especially like if you order it from Nintendo Japan, you can get the 6-button version.
Because we have, believe it or not, I just remembered here because I said I don't have any of the NSO controllers, and that's technically true. I do not have any of them. Downstairs is the NSO N64 controller. That was supposed to be for the wife so she could play Mario Party. I've used it a few times, but I try not to touch it because it's supposed to be for her, not me.
Yep. Through osmosis, it is yours. Just like to say, like, I don't own the Tomb Raider 360 controller, but my wife does. It's like, well, I mean, by proxy, it kind of. I mean, you don't own it. Little shit. Like, if she wants to claim the gear stuff I have, sure.
And I bet Melanie would stomp in his room right now and remind you that you don't own it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Before we wrap this up, I gotta ask you. I gotta quiz you and see if you know the right answer on this because it's a terrible answer. This will pretty much wrap up the collections, and maybe we'll come back to it later on when we have Liz because I'd love to hear what she has to say about some things.
Yeah.
What is the worst game collection out there? The absolute dog water of game collections that you could get your hands on. You'd punch somebody if they gave it to you and said you had to play it.
I know there's another one, but I will go with
it's a meme answer.
Ninja Gaiden Trilogy on the SNES.
Ah, come on. You gotta think worse.
Absolutely terrible. There's worse than that.
Come on. You want to sit down and be forced to play Action 52 all day?
Can you really count that as a collection, though?
It is a collection of the shittiest games known to man. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, are they good? I'll put it to you this way. I'll put it to you this way. Right downstairs right now, I can't remember what it's called, but I have an Atari system of like whatever that was given to me. It's got all these old 2600 games, and that is a collection. Do I want to go through that? Do I want that knife shoved under my toenails? No. It's cool to have in display in the living room, but do I want to play it?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
Actually, I think Melanie may have one of those as well, the Atari Flashback from
I think that's what it is.
Those aren't terrible. Like, we went through that one time there, and it was okay.
Is it the one with like the RGB?
No. This one has actually HDMI on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but it does have like the RGB lights and everything.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna have to take a picture of this thing because I can't recall.
Yes, please. You have to let me know. Oh, wait. I think I know it. Is it a more recent one that came out?
Yeah.
I've heard of those. Those aren't. I don't know if those are at games. I think those might be the My Arcade, which I can't believe they're still in business because like. I see people like at my old job seeing people buying those little handheld ones for their kids. It's like, oh yeah, here's one that's got like Street Fighter Championship Edition on it. Here's one that's got Mega Man 1 through 6 on it. I'm like, just get them a Switch. It's better. I know you got to buy the game, but
Yeah.
and I saw people at CES this year. They're just like, oh yeah, at Games has got all these cool new stuff. Here's the stand-up arcades. It's like, isn't this niche dead? Like, I heard that Arcade One Up is like liquidating all their assets, and they're like, yeah, we're done. I'm like,
no,
you guys have been done for a while. Like, you published all the arcade games people care about.
no.
What's left?
Arcade One Up got bought out by a firm as they were about to go down. So, no, they're very much alive. Let's see if they change their pricing structure because, yeah. I mean, would I like to have one and put it in my office at work? Yes. Would I like to pay $500 for it? You can go fuck yourself. Is what you can do.
I'm crying in Canadian here. They're like brand new. They're like 800 here.
800? No.
Yeah. No.
That's why those people aren't making any goddamn money because that's crazy. So, like, if they're just bad business people making bad deals and they can't get the deals they need to use the assets, just don't make the machine. I don't know what to tell you. Nobody wants that. Collection or not, do I want the MK2 cartridge, the MK2 cabinet that has like all the different games and all that in there? I mean, yeah, that's a great collection, but I don't want to pay $500 to $600 for it. Especially with
curiosity to see if anyone was selling them in my area. And yeah, there's a couple. And he wants 380.
I still think that's high.
That's for the MK2 one. Oh well, no. Sorry. That's the Midway one. So it has MK1, 2, Ultimate, and a bunch of other MK games.
Okay. I'm feeling it a little bit. The only problem I have with that is they break easily. Like, if you've ever felt the buttons in the joysticks, it's the most finicky, cheap-ass thing ever.
There is a game store in my wife's hometown area, and they decided, oh, we're going to have a game room. And there was, like, the Marvel vs. Capcom cab, the Street Fighter cab, the MK cab, the Simpsons cab, and I think a Turtles cab, like all the heavy hitters. I went up to the MVC cab, and the joystick was so loose.
Yeah.
I'm like, you have been well played. Do I want to play you? God no.
Yeah, they're worse than like PS3/360 era Hori fight stick. It's pitiful, absolutely horrendous.
Oh, there's someone local around me that's selling one of those. It's like modeled to look like the Street Fighter 2 cabinet.
Oh, fuck that.
No, I'm not, because like I've already got 2 fight sticks. I don't use one. I need a third one.
Speaking of, I also have 2 fight sticks I don't use.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's
you know what
life
I play on for fighting games. Oh no, the horror! I play on pad.
How could you play on pad? It's the one time that I
grew
would.
Up on.
Yep, it's the one time I would much rather use a Xbox One or Xbox Series controller versus anything else because it just works. Oh wow. I think we're gonna have to wrap that up because I can hear my kids screaming.
Yeah, I heard that. I think that's the alarm to say we're out of time and we should head out.
Yeah, she is quite upset, so I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. Thanks so much for coming out to another episode. Like I said, next time, Liz should be back here, and we're going to talk about some people who are Hall of Fame worthy in the world of gaming. So, until we see you again, I hope the new year is treating you well. Hope everything's going all right. Play some games. See ya.
Bye.